Julio, and I think I am live. Let's double check this just to make sure everything's working out alright. I've got myself playing on my own phone. Scream. Okay, I got audio lit. Okay, so, alright. Hello, people of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the moment that we have all been waiting for. Today, I have a GIP Ragum I can die. I'm gonna fix this right here so I can see a little better what's going on my screen. Okay, so here we go. Today I bring forth with you all my frame by frame analysis of the Sonic the Hedgehog 2019 movie trailer, produced and distributed by Paramount Pictures. Yeah, this is a trailer that came out at the beginning of the month. I was already working on my personal trailer that I had pieced together from like a couple of leaked trailer descriptions and adding my own spin to it all. Said last video. And unfortunately, the day before our last little shooting, we only need like two more shots with John, if I recall, or Caden, one or the other. And yeah, literally the day before we finished up shooting is when the actual trailer came out. My goal was to get it out before that trailer, this trailer, but we got it out now. So I suppose this is what we're gonna do. Gonna talk about the glory, the cinematic genius that is Sonic the Hedgehog. The trailer starts now. The movie. So yeah, let's get into it. We're going to rewind this a bit because that wasn't the first frame, and I'm sorry. This is the frame by frame analysis. Let us remind you. Okay, so I'm just gonna give my stream just one more look over because I want to be sure that it's working right. Okay. Ooh, Kate Andrew says, "Oh boy, you're right about that." Okay, so here we go. We're gonna get into this. Okay, I'm definitely not gonna claw my eyes out with disdain or anything. Lots of people have voiced their personal opinions over this trailer. I personally think it's going to be a masterpiece. You see, as a kid growing up, I was a huge Sonic the Hedgehog fan. It's always been something that I've always held near and dear to my heart. I was a hardcore fan over this franchise as a kid growing up. Uh, and now I just have a soft spot for it. Like any little Sonic thing, I'm like, oh man, I can appreciate that. I mean, even the newer games, which like Sonic Forces or whatever, I pre-ordered that just because I mean, soft spot for it for me. So I think this is gonna be a cinematic masterpiece for sure. I think it's gonna be nominated for a quadrillion awards. But let me stop talking about it. Let us experience this trailer together. Let me show you and break down. Jesus Christ, I wasn't expecting it to play it. There was a hair on my keyboard. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna play this. Hopefully, yeah, it says that there's desktop audio. Let's lower that a smidge so I don't blast out my ears. Okay. Alrighty, so without further ado, this is my frame by frame analysis. Here we go. You ready? Probably not. Neither am I. Okay, here we go. First frame. So as we can see, this is Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, 2019, produced and distributed by Paramount Pictures, which is a Viacom company. Yeah, there's not too much to examine in here other than Sonic's quills are clearly making this letter a C, obviously, which you need to have in order to spell Sonic. Duh. Yeah, we got some fancy blue, little outlines, stroke, I guess. We got the Hedgehog in a fancy red box, and a message telling us that our trailer starts now. And I'm so glad that it's telling us the title of this project like right out the bat, because honestly, I hate waiting in suspense whenever you're watching an actual trailer and they give you the title after everything's played through. It's just I don't like it. I don't like feeling like, oh god, what's gonna happen next? What's this gonna be? I don't like the surprise very much. So I'm glad that we have this just telling us what we're in store for. So let's go on to the next frame. Okay, so right off the bat, we are given this wonderful little highway stretch in the middle of some green little foresty stuff. You'll also notice that right here is a town sign saying Green Hills. Welcome to Green Hills. So yeah, that's cool. That is very clearly a reference to Sonic the Hedgehog's first original level, Green Hill Zone. But what I don't really appreciate about this is that the producers have been saying the reason why Sonic looks the way that he does in this film, or the way that he was supposed to look in this film before they decided, hey, we're going to redesign him, is because they wanted him to look like he's integrated with the real world, you know? So they wanted to blend Sonic the Hedgehog with our real world. But if that's the case, the town of Green Hills isn't real. This movie takes place in San Francisco. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just nitpicking. I mean, I'm certain it's gonna be great. I'm certain this movie's gonna be amazing. But this is just a little tiny nitpick of mine. Like, you know, they say that they want it to be realistic, but they're not making it as realistic as possible by just using a real world location. They're going out of their way to throw in some nostalgia into the mix. Okay, it's pretty much what Sonic Team's been doing with their games. Pretty much every single one of their games lately have included a Green Hill Zone recreation. You know, this movie's just pandering, in my opinion, for the nostalgia fans right there. So you know, we're gonna continue on. We got a little bit of a cop car sticking out from behind here. So let's continue on to the next bit that we've got. Hopefully, they don't pander too much. The camera's panning down a little bit, as you can tell. It's an interesting camera technique to start a camera in one position and then move it to another. It's very fascinating, the way filmmaking right there. Okay, I'm gonna rewind that because I bet that you blinked and you probably missed it, like I just did. Okay, and oh, here we go. Okay, damn it, I missed it again. He's just going too fast. It's very hard to. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I caught him right in the act. Okay, so here's Sonic, right? Or at least that's what we are led to believe. So, this is also another little reference to the character, as he is called the Blue Blur. Obviously, we could see that there is blue, and he is blurry, so he is the Blue Blur. But something that I am wondering is, you would assume that there'd be some red from his shoes or something. I mean, obviously we got little streaks of white going on from his gloves and some highlights and stuff, but like, where's the red from his shoes? So this is leading me to think that maybe this movie is going out of its way to explain a little bit more of Sonic lore, something that us fans have been wondering and questioning for such an incredibly long time. Does Sonic have human feet? Obviously, if he was wearing shoes, we'd see the red streak going by whatever color they're gonna have his shoes be. Obviously, he'd be wearing red shoes because that's typically what he wears. In the streak, but there's no red, so that's making me think, well, is he just shoeless right now? Is he running? So this is going to give us the opportunity to finally find out, for us Sonic fans, to put an end to this debate of whether or not Sonic has human feet or what. I mean, he's got anatomically correct human hands, so like, what are his feet supposed to be, like gross human feet or something, or are they just blobs that are in the shape of a foot? Or I don't know, but I'm really hoping that the movie answers this question for us. It's been something that I've been wondering myself for God knows how long. It haunts me in my nightmares every time I go to sleep. Just the possibility of it and all the weird DeviantArt fan art stuff that I had to look through personally for the one shot of John as he's playing Eggman, going through all the Sonic database or whatever, and we have the rip picture of Sonic. There was a lot of weird foot fetish things on there, and I was scarred for life. But I'm curious if the movie will adapt that into their live action realistic rendition of an alien hedgehog. So yeah, we're gonna go on with this. So okay, and so right here the cop car says, it looks like it says chef, but the door is open, it appears, so I'm sure it says sheriff. Again, we do get confirmation that this is a Green Hills police car. It does say chef, so it could be a chef, but I'm pretty certain that the door is open right here. So it's probably a sheriff car, but who knows? Maybe this guy likes to participate in some culinary arts on the side. There's only one way to find out, and that's by paying full price for a movie ticket to go see this film, and that's the only way that we're gonna figure it out. I mean, they could tell us he's a police officer all that they want, but you know, sometimes marketing is misleading. You know, like, I don't know, like half of Infinity War's trailer footage wasn't even in the film, so you know, marketing can be misleading. So there's only one way to find out. That's to watch the movie. And right now we are watching this trailer, so you know, things could be different. They might have CGI'd out some details and such, but yeah, yep. There's a man in there. And 45 is on the car. Now, that may be a reference to the average Metacritic score of the past several Sonic games, because they have not been good. 45% out of 100. So I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they're just poking fun at themselves. You never really know. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so this is really interesting. All right, we've got right here a speedometer or a speedometer, however you want to say it. We've got 760 miles per hour going on in this thing. Okay, but here's the thing: is that based off of classic Sonic Adventure 2 song that everyone loves, City Escape, Sonic is constantly roaming around at the speed of sound. He's got places to go, he's got to follow his rainbow. But the key lyric there is roaming around at the speed of sound. And that is clearly not the speed of sound right here. 760 miles per hour? What? You need 767 miles per hour if you want to break the sound barrier. So clearly, this is an origin story for Sonic the Hedgehog. He's not at his fullest potential yet. And I think throughout the course of this movie, we're going to really see him live up to his potential. Now, I know the IMDb description of this film describes Sonic as someone who is looking for his place in the world, or at least that's what I'm pretty sure it says. So it sounds like it's going to be a really deep movie as he's really exploring himself, and maybe going fast is one way that he pushes himself forward or something. I don't know. Let's continue. Okay, so there's something that I want to point out is that our main hero protagonist, who will probably take up more screen time than our titular character himself because it's one of these movies, Tom Wachowski, if I recall his name being, he's a cop played by Cyclops from X-Men. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy. I haven't seen those movies in forever. I just remember they blew him up in the third one, which is my least favorite X-Men movie, even worse than X-Men Origins in my opinion. Well, whatever. We're here to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog. Tom Wachowski says, "What the?" That's a very prominent line in this trailer, and I think it probably all leads to something, and I feel like that's going to be the audience's reaction to this film, because I feel like what any good filmmaker should do is subvert the audience's expectations, and I feel like that's exactly what this movie is going to do. It's going to present some crazy ideas, but it's going to go in a completely opposite direction of what you're expecting it to, because following the trail and being predictable, it's just boring. So why go through like telling a good story, for example, if you can just do the complete opposite and throw everyone off guard, hence the what the. So yeah, we're gonna continue on with this. James Marston, I think, is the actor's name. I'm not 100% familiar. We're gonna continue on. Oh god, I'm dying inside. He's looking confused. So here we can see that he's found one of Sonic's used butt plugs. We can tell that it's used because it's just kind of zappy, zippy all over the place right now. He probably should have wore gloves for this job. Picked it right out of the grass, so, Sonic's been out and about. A really interesting thing, as he examines it, we can see right outside the frame that he is married at the moment. Now, I don't know about you guys, but again, with that whole subverting expectations thing, I feel like he's gonna have his wife and all, but maybe he's gonna see something. I mean, obviously he's looking at this butt plug pretty longingly, as if like, man, this is something that I've always wanted to express myself in. So maybe he has a weirder, kinkier side to him, and that's something that he's gonna explore after meeting up with Sonic. Maybe the two of them are even gonna develop a loving, intimate relationship. I mean, like I said, there's only one way to find out, and that is by seeing the actual film. So okay, cool, some more nostalgia pandering. It's useless. We got rings going on and replacing the Paramount stars. It's just pandering just for the sake of putting another Easter egg in there. Who needs a reference or anything? I mean, geez, just come on, man. Get with the Paramount, Viacom company, cool. Sega, dope. And it's also the Zippity Zappity to remind you that they made Sonic. I personally would have preferred more of a pew pew, and then like the classic Sega scream, or maybe the even angrier one that's like Sega. I don't know, something to add a little bit more flair, something to kind of reflect that electric kind of graphic that they're putting up on here. So anyway, let's continue, shall we? So this is my favorite part of the trailer, because you can't see whatever the hell is going on because the camera looks like the camera guy's just having ADHD. or something, and he's just zippity zappity zippity zappity, and yeah, let's just watch this again. Okay, cool. I don't know if you caught that. I know I didn't. We're gonna continue on with it. That's some good filmmaking right there. Right here we've got Sonic as a ball. As he does, he's a hedgehog, so obviously he could curl up into a ball. It looks like he's entering his secret lair, maybe his secret sex dungeon where he'll meet up with Tom Wachowski or something. I don't know. As they explore their kinkier sides of each other. Who knows? Really, this movie could have all sorts of twists and turns, as we just saw from the camera movements just a second ago. That was one of them, I'm sure. But something that I'm seeing right here is a stop sign. Now, why there is a stop sign underground, I don't know. I don't think people are going to be driving around underground, so there's really no point to have a stop sign. Unless this is just a reminder for Sonic to stop going fast, to stop being himself. And again, with that whole thing with that IMDb description where Sonic is supposed to be, looking for his place in the world, I feel like this stop sign right here in the corner is more or less more of a symbol for society. You have to conform to the way that society assumes that you should be. And I feel like that is essentially just society telling Sonic, "Hey, you're different. Don't go fast. Be normal, okay? Hide away or else society will reject you or whatever." So I feel like that's got some deeper meaning to this film. There's no way that I am looking into this too much at all. This is definitely something that means something. Because, I mean, again, why else would you have a stop sign under the ground in a weird little dirt hole, man cave, German sex dungeon thing? I don't know. So, yep, there seems to be a couple living room stuff, maybe like I don't know, potato chips, maybe a chili dog here and there, maybe a wheelchair for whenever it's chili dog time. You never know. There's definitely a beanbag chair that I'm surprised he isn't tearing up because he is spiky and he's spinning, so therefore he should be like a saw blade and just digging right into that. But whatever, that's nitpicking again. That's looking too deep into it right there. Not like the stop sign. That's something that I'm onto. I'm dead certain about that. So yeah, so here we go. He's gonna land. So this is interesting right here. We've got many piles of shoes, and I don't know what that is. Washer machine. I don't know. But it's really interesting. All of his shoes are falling apart because he runs so fast. So I assume that's why he has so many shoes. He wears through them all, so he's got to get more of them. Apparently, what seems to be a boot right here. Okay. I guess Sonic is into boots. I guess it's pretty hot, I suppose. Um, yeah, so he's got all these shoes. They're all burnt out. There's some duct tape on them. I feel like then if they really wanted to since they're so keen on just shoving Easter eggs down our throat, what they could have done was throw on a pair of his actual shoes from the games. And since some of these are wrapped in duct tape, maybe have the duct tape be like his white strap on his shoes or something. I don't know. They missed an opportunity there, but whatever. They didn't hire me to help out with this project. Me, lifelong Sonic fan uh who has a knack for this kind of stuff, They didn't hire me onto this project, so whatever. Their loss, I guess. I would have made the best freaking movie ever. I mean, you saw my trailer, right? I gave that thing that everyone would want in a Sonic live action Hollywood adaptation. Guns, foul language, sex appeal, it's all there. Why Hollywood hasn't hired me to work on this film, I have no clue. But honestly, it's their loss, and you know what? I will have fun just cheering them on from the sidelines, I guess, Whatever. It's not the first time I've been left in the dust. I'm broken inside. Here we go. Let's continue on. I don't know what the heck this is. It's got like little zigzaggy foam bits on there, and I don't know if shoes typically do that unless they're like weird Croc editions or something. I don't know. Uh, you wore through that one pretty good. Anyway, so let's continue on with the rest of this. Here's our first glimpse at Sonic and his gross ass rat hands. We got some batteries as we see he's loading into this thing. And this right here, kids, is called a cassette player. Um, yeah, you put a cassette tape in there, and it plays music off of a magnetic strip. Uh, It's a lot more of an older form of enjoying your musical tastes than you have today. I mean, back in the day, there was no Spotify, there was no Pandora. Pandora sucks. I hate Pandora. Um, so everything was like a hard little cassette tape and everything before like CDs were really becoming a big thing too. And clearly, Sonic has a knack for some retro stuff. He did come from the '90s. The original game was produced in 1991, so he's got a bit of that old '90s cool guy flair. Ha! And so, yeah, I guess it makes sense to throw in a cassette tape in there. So yeah, he's listening to some good old music with his gross ass rat hands. Let's continue. And obviously, right from the start, it's the perfect choice for Sonic the Hedgehog. Let's actually rewind it just a smidge, and let's give it a good listen. Okay, let's really take this in. Okay, let's just close your eyes and just listen with me. Oh, I'm sorry, I opened my eyes too soon and I saw the glorious sex appeal that they're putting on the screen. Um, Obviously, Gangster's Paradise is the perfect thing to play for Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, there's so much that relates to the character, Going fast, collecting rings, saving animals, saving the world. All those family-friendly, heartfelt themes is translated through Gangster's Paradise. So there's really no better choice that they could have used for this trailer. I mean, the Sonic gaming franchise is well known for its music. Even if the games suck, the music always kicks ass. Like that is a fact for sure. Almost always. There's a couple of games that like have an okay soundtrack, but for the most part, there is some really great music that comes out of this game, especially in the older ones with Crush 40 involved, like Live and Learn. Uh, Geez, I don't know why I'm forgetting it. Live and Learn. Um, Open Your Heart. Jeez, I'm blanking out on some titles for them for some reason. Jeez, I literally had it in my head right before I started speaking it. But Escape, City Escape. All these great classic songs and everything. Just love them and all, but they don't really have any connection to Sonic the Hedgehog, I mean, apart from the line from Escape from the City that's roaming around at the speed of sound, got places to go, gotta follow my rainbow, that's the one line that remotely relates to anything related to Sonic in any Sonic game at all. It's not like what I'm made of translates to the entire antagonist of the game or anything like that. Or that they have music that just pretty much kind of sums up what the themes of its story are, but whatever, so they have all that great music, but none of it really says the heart and soul of Sonic the Hedgehog like Gangsta's Paradise does. Live and Learn? Pff, that's ridiculous. That song, sure, it's fun to listen to, but whatever. It doesn't have the carefree attitude of just moving forward at your own pace that Sonic the Hedgehog's all about, I mean, same with City Escape. Sure, it's got that one line, but that's about it. Oh, hey, Lacey Jones just subscribed, and the ringtone to that terrified the ever-living shit out of me. Jesus Christ, that was horrifying because it was just a ring, just, okay, right in my ears. But, so anyway, yeah, so the music, whatever. Even if the music's great from the Sonic games, it just doesn't translate well for Sonic the Hedgehog. So obviously Gangster's Paradise is the only way to go. So let's just listen to this one more time and take in the image this time. Okay, so I want to point out right here, his anatomically correct body. It's very proportionate to a human being. Apart from the hands and the feet, those are a bit more enlarged, and the weird ass spiky hedgehog head. But other than that, it is. I'm getting a notification on my desktop now. But either way, it is proportionate to a human being, and I think that's really great because, like I was saying earlier, they really, really wanted to design Sonic as if he could integrate seamlessly into this world. And obviously that means taking a cartoon head and slapping it onto a man body very clearly. That's very toned and kind of defined, like Spinner's body or something. Now usually in the Sonic games, how he's designed, he's got the 5 quills going around the side of his head and everything, and he's got 1 quill in the back right here, and then he's got 2 on his shoulder blades, and then he's got his little tail stubby. But here, they totally wanted to clutter this up a bit, and I mean, that's not a bad thing or anything like that. No. I think it's a great design choice to completely put way more than what's actually necessary. You know, I mean, Sonic's all extreme. You gotta go all out, or don't go in at all. You know, it's all or nothing. Haha, gotta go fast. And so obviously they added in the extra spike to the back of his head, probably for symmetry or something. I don't know. And then they give him more like little back nipples and stuff, and maybe even little hip nipples too, right above his tail. Um, and so we see that he's in a different highway stretch. It appears to be a lot more deserty, but he's still on a highway and all. So he's standing there in the highway, you know, as you do, probably waiting for a car to end them all, like I'm waiting for my misery to end with this. I mean, I love this movie. I'm excited for it. It's gonna win all the awards. Here we go. Okay, he's doing his stretches. That's a very important thing to do. You always got to make sure that you stretch. Always stretch, kids. You don't wanna pull something as you're running. Here, this is a very important stretch right here. What he's doing, he's really working this thigh muscle right here, really stretching that out. Got to make sure you don't overextend it or anything as you're running crazy fast. Obviously, really gives you a good look at that tail nubby right here, which seems very thick, but you know, whatever. It's just this thick booty. As he runs, his butt just claps together, I guess. We can also see that he's got his socks on, but he doesn't have gloves, as we saw earlier. He had gross rat hands with fur. And we also get a bit more of a clearer look at what his face is going to be. He's got a bit of a hedgehog snoot, which is pretty dope, I suppose. But overall, thing from this frame right here, the stretch. I mean, it's essential. You don't want to be running around and get a Charlie horse. I remember my days in track, as I'm just running, I'd see people just dropping over and dying of pain and torment as they were getting a god-awful Charlie horse. So, you know, you want to avoid that. Make sure you take a page out of Sonic's book. Be cool, stretch, and don't be a fool, you tool. Ha! Let's go! And here we go. Obviously, we can see that he's got lightning, which is a new addition. This is something that's never really in much of the other Sonic games. He never really generates lightning from his Puma-sponsored shoes. But I feel like this is a pretty neat creative choice because how I see it, with Ezra Miller leaving as the Flash, they've got someone perfect to replace him, you know? And I feel like there's no better option to replace the Flash than with Sonic the Hedgehog. You know, it sucks that Ezra Miller is pretty much probably going to be out of that film because they're making the script too lighthearted and he wants a dark and gritty script. I mean, come on, DC. We want dark and gritty. Batman vs. Superman is an underrated masterpiece. I mean, come on. The film is nothing but fan service, Easter eggs, and setup for Justice League in every single scene before it even starts telling its own story, okay? And that's the perfect way to tell a movie. But anyway, so I feel like this is perfect, you know? There's no better character, I don't think, to replace the Flash than Sonic the Hedgehog. So sorry, Ezra, that you're out, but honestly, I think I'm going to be pretty happy that with the decision that they're doing by having Paramount team up with Warner Brothers to give us the Justice League that we've always wanted. Batman, Wonder Woman, we can cut out Superman because he may or may not be out, and replace him with Sonic the Hedgehog, and he could take on both the role of Superman and the Flash. I mean, he's got both colors, so, you know, why not? But yeah, as I said, Puma shoes, that's pretty cool. White stripe, probably for more fanboy service, just pandering for that white stripe that'd be going over the top of the shoe. Whatever, I'll overlook that. Again, this is just some nitpicks that I'm having with this trailer. Yeah, so far he's okay. And there is the world famous quote of Sonic the Hedgehog: "Gotta go fast." I don't know if you heard that. It's a blink and you miss it kind of thing. There it is for you guys. He just said, "Gotta go fast." Now, what I really like is that as he looks up and he opens his eyes, you could actually see his pupils dilate. So let's look at that. Great work from the visual effects guys. There is in no way that they're stressing out over redesigning Sonic at all. I mean, I'm sure this is just a very simple task. There's hardly any reanimations that they have to do, such as something as detailed as having the pupils contract in his head as he raises his eyes towards the light. Yeah, so I'm sure all those visual effects guys are happy to be doing all this all over again. Also, something that's new is that Sonic's eyes go from green to blue as he opens them as the electricity courses up his big, beefy man thighs. So that's pretty tight. Go fast. Yeah, so you can see him glow blue for a bit. He's got his Simpsons mouth. Obviously, Everyone is a bit angry about the separated eyes. But personally, if you're going to make a realistic design that integrates well into the real world, you know, like putting a cartoon head on top of a human man body and thereby making him look like a mascot, you got to make some sacrifices, you know? It's realistic. This is how it'd look in real life if there was an alien hedgehog that came from another world and or dimension that showed up suddenly. He'd have two eyeballs, not one giant uni eyeball like Sonic has. I mean, come on. That Sonic design that they have in the games and everything, it's stupid. It sucks. It's outdated. Okay, this is new. This is modern. It's sleek. It's here. It's wow. It's now. We're gonna continue on. Okay. So there he goes. There goes Sonic with his blue blurb streaky thing. So I don't mind this pose right here. I mean, okay, the lanky arms and the lanky legs do make him look like he's a spider demon coming up a flight of stairs out of a dark basement or something. But I feel like the head right here at least captures the attitude of Sonic well. That's some real talk right there. So yeah, we're gonna get back onto this. All demon jokes aside, or all sleep paralysis demon jokes aside, we're gonna continue on. He's gonna zip on by. Oh, there he goes, the Link. As we see, he is leaving a blue streak behind him because, you know, blue blur. Da, 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 da. But again, as we can see, there is no red from where his shoes are. You know, and considering that'd be the part of him that's moving the fastest, because I mean, your feet have to move faster in order to make you move fast. So I mean, you'd think that we'd be seeing some red going on down here, but I think personally he just ran out of his shoes and socks or something. I mean, for sure left the shoes behind. Because I'm not seeing any red. So that's just leading me to believe that we are for sure going to find out if Sonic has human feet. And that is honestly all that I really want out of this movie. Is I just want to know if he has gross ass human toes, like toenails and everything. I want to see it. I want a definitive answer to this lifelong debate of us Sonic fans. Does Sonic have human feet? And what do they smell like? I'm going to guess like probably gamer girl pee or something. I don't know. So he's running down the highway. Cool. That's neat. I definitely didn't use this shot in my trailer or anything like that. So here we go. This is interesting. So he's zipping by. Here is a car. I don't know if it's a cop car. It doesn't really look like one. It looks like an average human being car. But there's another sign that this car is behind for a city, it looks like. So it's interesting how this movie seems to be just stuffing cars behind city signs or city limit signs or something. I don't know. Maybe it's the same car. Maybe it's supposed to be the same place, but it is very deserty. There's not as much green as there was, as if I bring it back down here on the thumbnail or whatever. You could tell it's a lot more green. It's a lot more green, as you can see here. So I'm gonna assume it's a different place, unless Sonic just went so fast that he entered a whole new timeline where, you know, it's gross and dead, and it's oh geez, what am I doing? Where it's gross and dead and bleak and hopeless. You know, the Flash has done something similar to that too. As we can see, Sonic just let out a massive rip, and he just crop dusted this poor guy right here. Should name him John Baker. Huh, John, get it? Huh, 'cause... But yeah, so Sonic either just broke the sound barrier, or he just let out a massive fart. But if he did break the sound barrier, that'd be interesting, because that would mean that he's traveling at 767 miles per hour. And back here, he traveled at 760 miles per hour. So as I was saying, this is probably a Sonic origin story, but they seem to get the origin right out of the way out of the gate, you know? Unless this is like the last shot of the movie, and he lets out that massive rip, and then knocks out all the power and plummets the entire world into the Dark Ages, where people are left to fend for themselves. I think that'd be very interesting if Sonic goes so fast, he knocks out all the power in the world, and everyone is like, oh no, the power's out, it's time to revert back to caveman times, and they just go crazy and just end up killing each other. And I feel like that'd be a very interesting social commentary piece on how us human beings are really just fragile animals who are so quick to resort to savagery when something that we are so used to is challenged, you know? So I don't know, I feel like this movie can really present a lot of interesting insights. So yeah, this is obviously the Earth, clearly. But I'm not sure if they're really depicting it properly, because it seems that there's a bit of a curve going on over here. No, I'm not saying that the Earth is flat or anything. That is definitely not the case, but it certainly isn't a sphere. because I mean a ball can't hold water, and neither can just a flat disc. Okay, a flat disc can't hold water either. Okay, so obviously the Earth is shaped like a bowl. It's that simple. Okay, you get your curve in there, and then you also get the water that stays on there. So the Earth is very obviously shaped like a bowl. So let's cut back real quick because I might have missed something. I might have missed something just a second ago right here. Yeah, desert highway on a dark desert highway. Cool wind going through Sonic's hair. I wonder if there's a smell of Kalitas rising up in the air. Um, yeah, so Sonic definitely killed whoever is sitting out right over here. That's got to be the equivalent of a like nuclear warhead just going off and just blasting the car. Maybe even through the city sign or something. But either way, that dude's dead. I'm certain Sonic's got some blood on his hands in this movie, and I think it's really interesting that they're not afraid to show a darker side to Sonic. You know that he isn't afraid to murder people. Because sometimes you got to kill people to just for the greater good. You know, the sacrifice the few for the many. You know, or kill the bad guy to save the countless lives. You know, so who knows? Sonic might just end up snapping Eggman's neck, or better yet, turning into a ball and spin dashing through his chest or something. I don't know. We'll find out. Only way to know is to watch the movie and pay full price for a ticket. So yeah, power's all out. We got an old man right here right now. Commander Walters. Yeah, I want to say that is a character in the games, but I could be completely wrong. I'm not familiar with all of the gun government characters, but it could be one of those guys. I don't know. Honestly, if that's another character, it wouldn't surprise me because this movie just really seems to be pandering for fan service and nostalgia, and that's just not how you make a movie. I mean, come on. Okay, so clearly the guy is in a board meeting and he's talking about how 20 minutes ago an energy surge it knocked out power. So we're gonna go back over here. We're gonna talk about some key players in this scene. So obviously they're at the Pentagon because you just have a giant sign that tells you where you're at in every establishment that you're in. You know, it's not like they just know. You know, you got to really like sport that in every single room. I don't know if you guys know this, but the Pentagon actually has one of these signs in every single room, just in case they're filming something, so people know where they're at. More handy is that on the opposite side of the camera, so where you can't see, it tells you what room it is. But unfortunately, we're not able to see that because I guess they really just cared about what the overall building was. Um, so yeah, the Pentagon, and if you were having any doubts, this is in Washington D.C. right here, as the Pentagon's supposed to be. So glad that they're keeping that realistic detail, unlike throwing Green Hill, into San Francisco or whatever. You know that. So I don't know. You say that you want a realistic Sonic movie, but you're also like throwing in these unrealistic places. Like, come on, just make up your mind, guys. So we've got a couple of crusty old men. They're probably talking about how they're gonna outlaw abortions or something like that, or birth control or something, and arrest people for having miscarriages or some stupid thing like that. I'm sorry, I'm getting political about this. Let's stray away from that. Let's try to keep politics out of this and stupid old people's decisions out of this. So yes, that guy's shaped like a blobfish. I'm sorry. Oh dang it. As I'm trying to point out, yeah, this guy right here. Uh, I don't know. His face is kind of like a triangle right here. I don't know. That's just something I noticed. I doubt it's anything to do with the movie. Here we go. So knocked out power. This is an interesting shot. So as we can see, we have the return of longtime Disney Pixar hero Mac, who famously stores Lightning McQueen in his butt and drags him to different places for different races and everything. It looks like he's got an edgy new paint job, so that's pretty cool. It seems like he's approaching a military triage, which maybe after the power was knocked out and people were going savage. I mean, there's obviously going to be like government stepping in to be like, hey, no, right control and everything, you know, all that stuff. So maybe that's what's going on over here. Oh goodness, I'm running off of 2 hours of sleep. This is fun. So yeah, interesting to see that Mac is pulling up into this movie. I'm glad that they're not only doing a crossover with the Justice League, but also the Cars universe. Here's a better look at him right here. Couple of black vans because you know everything's got to be black if you're the bad guy. It's a terrible stereotype, but you know, whatever, you know, you got to suspend your disbelief sometimes and just kind of go with whatever the movie's presenting. So yeah, here's Mac and a couple of cars. Let's see. I'm trying to read that brand. It's blurry, so I can't tell. Whatever. Obviously, HAL 9000 has been integrated with Mac from Cars. Um, or I'm sorry, it's the steering wheel from Wally. Yet another Pixar crossover. Um, Give me the plant. But yeah, so it's that guy. It's steering wheel guy who I think is actually just called Hal in that movie, if I recall, because he's straight up just like he's very obviously a reference to Hal from Space Odyssey. Um, but yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's Hal and Mac integrated into one perfect being. Um, I mean, my two favorite Pixar characters ever, and I'm just so glad to see that they are conformed into one thing. So let's continue. This guy is very old, as you can see. This guy seems very uninterested. Actually, I'm going to point out right here. This guy, he seems very disinterested. He's just kind of like, God, what am I going to have whenever I get home? What am I going to do when I tell my children I'm in this movie? um, I only signed up because my granddaughter told me, yeah, be in the Hedgehog movie. But anyway, so he seems dissatisfied, or maybe he's the true villain. He's thinking of his own nefarious plot or something. This guy. Let me skip back real quick. Nope, I'm sorry. This guy's mouth barely moves. He doesn't even look real. It's like his mouth just kind of hangs open, like and then his teeth are just chattering behind his lips, like ah. Like the doctor from episode 10 of Salad Fingers. If you don't know what I'm talking about, bless you. You don't need to know what I'm talking about. But yeah, he's literally his teeth are just chattering inside of his still moving lips. Like, and his lip kind of twitches, but that's about all that you get. Like it's not like he's actually moving his mouth to speak. It's so interesting. It's something that I've noticed every time that I've watched this brilliant work of art trailer. Like, hold on, let's just go back this one time real quick, one more time. I was gonna slow down the playback, but I'm too lazy to try to find the button for that. I just his mouth doesn't move, and it's really weird. So maybe he's a robot. You know, in the games, Eggman has a knack for turning things into robots, as it's called in the game, roboticizing. So who knows? Maybe that guy's a robot. Maybe he's one of Eggman's secret pawns or something. I guess we'll have to find out in the movie. It'd be a pretty interesting twist to find out if he was a human being and he just talks like that. I don't know. I don't think any natural living thing can really do that, but who knows? Who knows? Nifty design, but very inaccessible for people in wheelchairs, so that's not very cool of this car. And here's the man himself, the guy who will single-handedly save this entire movie. I mean, I'm kidding. Everything's gonna work for this film. It's gonna be perfect. We can tell. I can already guarantee you that it's gonna get nominated for at least 12 Academy Award nominations, including one for Best Picture, one for Best Love Scene, one for Best I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna get nominated for 12 awards. Guarantee it. No doubt in my mind about this. Oh geez. So yeah, here's Jim Carrey as Dr. Ivo Robotnik, aka Eggman. So yeah, he's got some pretty slim black shades right here, which I don't think would be very effective because I feel like light would get in from either above or underneath the lens, and I feel like just having such slim lenses isn't gonna help you out. And here we have again another phrase of a what the, and I feel like this is really just speaking out to everyone's reaction of this trailer. Not because it's bad, because it's so like unbelievably amazing. It is astounding what they are pulling off with this movie. Sergeant Bennington. Yeah, so I mean he's like, what the, because I mean again, this is gonna be the audience's reactions whenever they subvert our expectations of what's going on with this movie. So I think it's going to be fantastic. I feel like it's great that they are really putting the audience into this film. Like they're really saying what the audience is thinking and everything, which I think is great. You know, it's always like those kind of characters are always the best whenever they just straight up say whatever the audience is thinking. You know, Like, for example, The Conjuring 2. Oh, everything's starting to go crazy and the police are there and everything like that. Or yeah, everything's starting to go crazy and the police show up and everything. The police are like, what's going on? And you're thinking, just get out of the house, you idiots. And then what do? They get out of the house. And it's like, oh, sweet. That's good. These guys can think. So very clearly, these are our audience stand-in characters, the people that we project ourselves into. I mean, clearly they're saying, what the? Again, as I said back up here at, oh, I just, oh, I'm, so yeah, right there, that what the versus this what the. So, I feel like it's all for I feel like it's really the movie's just trying to tell us, hey, get ready because what we've got in store for you is something you have something that you're not prepared for, essentially. And I think that is a really, really ballsy thing. So let's continue on with this. We have a look at Eggman without his impractical glasses on, so that's great. I like his little mustache. He's got the little woo and the little woo on the side, so that's always fun. I'm not gonna lie, I really do like the way that he looks in this trailer, though. I'm being serious whenever I say that he's gonna save this movie. Not that it needs saving because it's gonna be perfect. Okay, so that's how you show off that he's like kind of he's got someone up his sleeve. He's smirking. He's like, you got something. Are you the one in charge here? Are you the one in charge here with my woo on the sides of my face? So Sergeant Bennington, he's standing up for himself. He's got his army guys behind him, and then Robotnik's got his agent people behind him, obviously. So clearly these two groups are at odds, and I really feel like it's kind of an allegory for the people against the military, which I think is ridiculous because I mean, so much of the military just kind of they put their life on the lines for us and everything, and people kind of take them for granted. But I feel like it's supposed to be a parallel of these two groups just kind of at odds with each other, or not really at odds with each other, but like one just questioning the other. Really. So let's continue on with this. I feel like they're really trying to get into some deep social political themes is what I'm trying to say here. So let's continue on. Okay, and just like that, he asserts his dominance, and he's like, nope, you're not in charge here because he's Dr. Ivo Robotnik. He's the Eggman. And he's got his buddy here, and he's like, yeah, you tell him, boo. Love you so much. Yeah, I can't wait to go home and cuddle you later tonight, dude. I feel like this is the Waylon Smithers of the Sonic movie. So I feel like he's going to have a secret crush on Jim Carrey over here. That Jim Carrey's going to be completely oblivious towards, even though his advances are very obvious and very clear. I feel like it's going to have a pretty solid message about, it's okay to be in the friend zone sometime because, sometimes that having a friend is better than being in a relationship. Unless being in the friend zone means that you're being used as an accessory, in which case that's not very good. Yeah, I'm totally quoting that Sonic 06 fan dub. Anyway, so let's continue. So he asserts his dominance. Very, very strong power move right here. Oh, and just like that again, he asserts his dominance again. Okay. Here's a reference to him roboticizing things. He does a little robot thing right here. I like that Sergeant Bennington's eyes move every time that Jim Carrey says a word. Like he has ADD and he's just watching a butterfly fly by. Like, seriously, watch his eyes. They move every time he says something. And I'm so glad that we have this guy right here to kind of portray our like kind of our everyday person. Because obviously whenever you speak fast and you say big words, it means that you're a total genius and that us the of average intelligence need that to be translated to us. So I'm glad that this guy has someone to just kind of bring all that science lingo into English. I really appreciate that the filmmakers are looking out for us. I'm glad that they are treating us like we don't know better, and that they're just looking out for us. I can respect that. And just like that, he flexes on him. And here you can actually see the exact moment that Sergeant Bennington's heart breaks. Oh, right there. You can see that little flinch right before he kind of goes into his scowl. You could just right there. You can just see his heart just his face just says it all. It's unfortunate. It's really sad, and man, it's really unfortunate. That he's getting disrespected like that. He's just trying to do his job. He really is. Man, it's unfortunate. But I like that this guy can act so much with his face. You could really see the pain that he's going through, especially right here, right there. You could really see his disdain and disgust in his eyes with Jim Carrey right now. So let's carry on a little bit more. This November, I'm glad that they throw this in there because it does give you an idea when this movie will be releasing. Which, if you haven't noticed on my right underneath my camera, I've got a countdown to when the movie premieres. That is in 174 days, 8 hours, 38 minutes, and 32 seconds right now. And November 8th, 2019 is when the movie drops. So I'm glad they're giving us that window. So yeah. Okay, so a really interesting thing right here. So we're back with our cop hero Tom, who in my glorious trailer, which is which I'd say is just as good as this. It's pretty good. But I think that this trailer is far superior to the thing that I put my blood, sweat, and tears into, and my 3 chest hairs into. So Tom the cop doesn't do the stereotypical thing that you'd expect like people to do, like in police movies whenever they kick down the door. No, 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 no. If you look really closely, he opens it with his hand. Now, this is an obvious reference to the fact that if you just try to kick a door down, you're going to mess up your knee. It really hurts. I don't know if you've tried. I've tried kicking a door down. It hurts. I've messed up my knee doing that before. Like you kick it and you just feel it in your knee a lot. It sucks. So it's really, really interesting to see that they are really being smarter than us and just having him open the door with his hand. Not a whole lot of films really treat you like this and like kind of show you a life hack with their production that you're paying to see. So he opens the door with his hand. Great touch because you got to make sure your knees are usable because you don't want to like go out into a fight or like you don't want to jump into an action sequence and you're like, oh man, my knee's hurting and I gotta kind of hobble around. It's impractical. It doesn't get you around as quick as you could. So yeah, here we go. He opens the door. And again, he says SFPD, which very obviously means that they are in San Francisco. Something that I also think is really interesting is he's not wearing his cop uniform. He's wearing his everyday civilian clothes. He's just a ringer and some jeans, and his Glock. So just average civilian stuff that you'd have on you every day. And it really just shows you that he is dedicated to his job and he's willing to do the right thing no matter what situation that he's in. Getting groceries, he's gonna take down the bad guy. And this shows right here that even though he's out living his personal day, he has a wedding ring. I'm doing the wrong hand. He has a wedding ring, obviously, so he has a wife. Maybe he was like, oh man, today's our date night, but I gotta go stop this blue menace. And you know what? That's what he's doing. So he's a hero. So I salute you, Tom Wachowski. You are the MVP, and you are everything that I strive to be when I grow up. Okay, and obviously he swings the light over. There's a couple little Easter eggs over here. Like there's a tool shelf. That's a reference that every shack just has nothing but tools in it that you never use, such as this like little weed whacker looking thing or chainsaw. I don't know what. Maybe some gasoline right there. I don't know. It's a shack. It's got the Shack things, probably a copy of Steel starring Shaq himself, somewhere in there. So yeah, let's continue on. Up next is gonna be our first look at our blue blur hero himself. So here we go. We are gonna get right into it. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Wow, I really didn't think that I was gonna play it right on the next frame, but here we go. This is our first look at our titular character, Sonic the Hedgehog. And I mean, or first very clear look, we got the look of his face like close up whenever he's like, gotta go fast. And his pupils dilate because the animators are geniuses and definitely aren't stressing out over reanimating every little thing to redesign him. But so yeah, here we go. We got a very clear look at his face. Um, his weird neck right down here. I mean, I'm sorry, his realistic neck. Yeah. So that's Sonic, everyone. He's got a snoot. He's got human teeth and a human bottom lip. Like, look at that. Like that lip. Look at that. It's pretty hot. The line that'll live forever in infamy. Goodness, let's listen to that one more time. It is pretty. It is something else. This shot looks very menacing. I'm not gonna lie. I just peed my pants right now. But so anyway, let's get back into it. And meow. One more time. I'm sorry. This is such a brilliant line. This is great screenwriting right here. Because I think what's so brilliant about that one line right there is, again, let's go back to what that stop sign is telling Sonic in his little man cave. Okay? It's telling him to stop. Don't be you. Be what we think you are. We, society, think that you should be. Okay? Conform to what society wants you to be. And society, they don't like aliens, like little alien hedgehogs from other planets, dimensions, or worlds or whatever. They like furry things. They like furry little fur balls, you know? And so Sonic's like, oh, well, I'm furry. I could turn into a ball. So maybe just maybe I can maybe I can pass off as a cat. And so he's really trying to be something that he's not. And that's very unfortunate because I feel like so many of us like go through that at some point of our lives. So I feel like this will be a very relatable coming of age story. As Sonic really finds who and what exactly he is and what he's capable of and all of that fun stuff. And so one more time, just so we could hear the heartbreak behind it. You know, the unfortunate circumstances behind it. Just one more time. Meow really hurts my heart. Okay, so I'm sorry. I'm letting too much of this trailer play before I could break down a whole lot of it. There was just one more time. So yeah, he's got his Glock out and everything. Just yeah, this definitely isn't an overplayed joke where one person screams and the other person screams. You know, I think it's very fresh. I think it's very good. It's refreshing, as I just said. So I'm glad that it's in here. I really feel like this is something the movie would not be able to survive without. It's definitely funny the first time that you see it, and it's definitely funny the next 20 quadrillion times you see it done in everything else. It never gets old, ever. And here we go. This, I feel like, is absolutely brilliant because they say that they want to integrate Sonic as if he was a real thing. You know, but obviously he's got the snoot that kind of points out like a hedgehog would. As we could see back at that one frame where he's doing a stretch almost an entire minute beforehand. Let's go back over here real quick. One more. Here we go. Yeah, so you can see that he's got a protruding snoot right over there. So he's got a hedgehog snoot. It's dimensional. But right here, it's like the mouth is just flat. I mean, the way that his teeth are structured suggests that it's kind of like a human skull underneath, you know, like, or at least for like the jaw section, which anatomically doesn't work. And I feel like that's why a lot of people are complaining, oh, the character design sucks, da 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 da. It just doesn't work. But no, okay, it's realistic. All right, he's got human teeth, thereby inferring that he's got somewhat of a human bone structure underneath, which makes sense because he has a human body. I mean, come on, man. It's perfect. You know, he's got molars and everything, and gosh, perfect for biting into stuff, I guess. Biting into those chili dogs. So yeah, we get a pretty good look at his gross rat hands. Beautifully designed, I'd say. Let's continue on with the scream. And then the cop just pops him right in the leg, and I feel like that's them trying to cram down like another social message, like, oh, that police will just fire before like really assessing the situation, you know. But and there's a lot of political things that you could say about that, but I think that's another message that they're trying to throw in here is that entire thing. So he caps Sonic in his beefy thigh. Well, I mean, not really beefy in this shot, but you can see that there's some definition going on in there. It's pretty hot. I'm not gonna lie. The hair is what really gets me. But so anyway, he gets him in the leg. Sonic goes down like a champ, and then you didn't expect that Tom just took Sonic's unconscious body and kidnapped him, as we see that they're speeding out in this thing right here. But yeah. but we can see that he's wearing a different shirt, so obviously this is just a different time. He didn't kidnap Sonic right after shooting him and tranquilizing him or anything. So, yeah. Actually, hold on. Let me go back real quick because looking at the back of this mirror, or I'm sorry, not mirror, the window. Oh, okay, it's blown out. It's blown out. Okay, so this is me analyzing this. And so Sonic says, "I'm gonna have to save your planet." Look at him just sitting here, just he's happy. He's living life. So yeah, so Sonic says basically, "I'm gonna have to save your planet." I'm so sorry. I'm neglecting the chat right here. Will Oak says, "I'm gonna report this for repulsive content." I'm sorry. Audio is not working for the YouTube video. That's okay. Yeah, I'm pretty much saying everything that they're saying. You're good. But yeah, so let's see. Retro Boy, you're right. You're right. Back into the back to the trailer real quick. Actually, let's see if I could fix this. One more second. Default. Yep. Okay. Okay, sure. So anyway, so back on to what I was doing instead of fiddling with the live stream stuff. Anyway, so we got Sonic. He's just chilling in this car, and he's like, "Hey, yeah, I'm gonna have to save your planet because this confirms that he's not from Earth." So cool, fun stuff, right? Obviously we got this menacing car that was not in the previous shot. Yeah, it's not there right then. And then this thing shows up. Okay, so that's what happens to the back of that mirror. They shoot it, or I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep saying mirror. Window. I'm sorry, Sonic movie. I don't mean to trash talk on your or misassess your trailer. So anyway, so they shoot the harpoon thing and they miss a whale and they accidentally strike the car. It's fine. It's all right. The insurance can cover that. And also Sonic is on the run and he's gonna take out the robot car thing. So yeah, here he goes. Yeah, so there goes that. He takes that out pretty easily, so that's cool. Yeah, so he takes out that car super easy. There's electricity. And Sonic is being a little ass, and he's like, "Hey, is that all you got?" Whoa, okay, cool, sure thing. Luckily, Jim Carrey has a card up his sleeve, and he's like, "No, thank you for asking." Obviously, we can see that this is the car that he's piloting or whatever. It's offline. I also want to mention that whoever's in this car is dead. Like, they're just straight up murdered. They're probably getting flung around inside this tight space of a tank, and they're probably just broken bones by now. So that's unfortunate. And Sonic's just like, "Oh, is that all you got? I just murdered your friends who probably had a wife and kid or a family or a toilet or something, and that's the end of that." So I'm not digging that Sonic is being made out to be an antagonist, and they're kind of making the antagonist more the protagonist. But it's an interesting choice. Again, subverting expectations. So let's continue on. He runs off. Okay, and so he deploys out a robot that looks like a. It kind of reminds me of the robots from Sonic 06, the main little bad guys that you destroy all throughout levels and everything. So it kind of reminds me of that. So that's cool. Reminds me of that brilliant game. It's wonderful, wonderful game. I highly recommend anyone play it. It's totally flawless, perfect. I don't know why anyone gives it a bad rap, but we're just gonna continue on. Here we go. We got another one of Sonic's butt plugs just left around. Jim Carrey explaining stuff. Actually, really interesting thing about this scene right here. So they're talking about how they gotta secure Sonic. They gotta capture it. They gotta secure it, analyze it, smell it. I don't know. And there's a cage back here. So I'm thinking that Eggman isn't wanting to eliminate Sonic, but he's wanting to keep him as a pet. Okay, and that's really interesting because that just brings in a whole nother layer of political commentary, such as slavery and stuff. That's interesting, and just free will and all that fun stuff. Hedgehog rights, go you guys. But another interesting thing is that there's a bunch of bullet holes all over the room, which Sonic the Hedgehog himself doesn't use guns, but a Sonic character who is known for using guns is Shadow the Hedgehog. So I'm believing, this is my theory here, you can quote me on this, I'm dead certain that'll happen, is that they're going to put in Shadow the Hedgehog in this movie. Maybe he and Eggman are going to be working together like they did in Shadow's first appearance back in Sonic Adventure 2. You know, so I'm really excited to see how they cram his entire tragic backstory with Maria and her entire disease. And I'm just excited to see how they pull that all off. You know, I know they're going to do it flawlessly. So back to the butt plug shot, because he's looking at this very longingly. It's like he's just seeing a cheeseburger and he hasn't eaten for a while, and he knows exactly what he wants from that butt plug, and he wants it now. So yeah, secure it. Interesting. They're looking at a map. It's got a couple different states. It's got Montana, Idaho, Utah, um, some other stuff. He's examining the butt plug, probably just making sure it's safe to use for himself. I don't really know. Him and his touch screen phone gloves or whatever. And he puts his glasses on, and I think this is absolutely brilliant because, you know, it shows that he's kind of slowly descending in the madness, as we are told that he will be doing in this entire film. So I think it's interesting, and all the while this guy's just really want to confess his love to Jim Carrey, but Jim Carrey is like, I can't, I'm going crazy, man. You can't be around this. I got to focus on the job because it's really all that I have left at this point. I miss my wife. I miss my kids. You know, I feel like there's a lot that they're really going to go with, like dive into with Eggman here. So let's continue. They're going to figure out what makes him tick, is what he's saying. And obviously he licks Sonic's dank butt plug, and clearly that doesn't have very good effects on him. It's very nasty, I'm sure. I don't know if it was washed. I don't know if hedgehogs have that kind of manners, but you know, he goes for it anyway. Maybe he has a thing for Sonic. Maybe he's like Tom Wachowski, and you know, he wants to explore other avenues in life, more kinkier sides of things. So yeah, we got the portal gun back here. That's kind of cool. Great to know that they're crossing over with Valve. And he's looking at it like, damn, I want another hit of that. Like most sophomores hiding in the bathroom with their jewels, like, damn, I want another hit of that. So you remember, be cool and jewel. We're going to continue on. So from the producers of Fast and the Furious, I feel like this is very appropriate because, you know, Sonic's fast. And, you know, Sonic has a bit of that attitude. You know, like that, ha, you're too slow, ha, gotta go fast, whoa, oh, bird, no bite. That kind of attitude. You know, so I feel like it works with the Furious aspect of that, too. So I feel like they got the right people behind this movie. Here we have Sonic throwing a ring towards his friends. Unfortunately, I think he missed hitting them in the head. So they are instead falling into safety. Now, I've seen a lot of people talk about how this is like, why is Sonic suddenly Doctor Strange? I don't know. I can't answer that for you. Well, I can't actually. So I'm pretty sure this is just another nostalgic throwback, really, to the original Sonic games, because pretty much in the old games, like, I don't remember if you collected like 100 rings, or if you complete some kind of criteria for the game, for each level, whenever you got to the end, a ring would appear outside the end gate, and you could jump into that and be brought to a special stage where you could collect the Chaos Emerald, assuming that you could navigate through one of those freaking difficult things. And so, yeah, so I feel like that's a reference to. Again, just more nostalgia pandering, but whatever. But it seems that people don't really remember this too much, so I guess not too much of a nostalgia pandering, but that is a reference to the games, little did you know. Every hero, that's a phrase. Here we go. So Sonic is suddenly in Egypt, which, let's go back to that shot of the map real quick, because there's something I noticed. We've got a map of the world up here. So, you know, not only are they having like several states, but you know, it's the entire world up here. And I know one of the Sonic movie posters has the Eiffel Tower popping up inside one of those transporty rings. So I'm believing this is going to be a full-on like globe-trotting adventure. What a perfect frame to click on by accident. So here we go. He's going through the ring. And now we're suddenly in Egypt, which I think, again, this just really solidifies my thought that Shadow the Hedgehog is going to be in this movie. Because here are the Pyramids of Giza. And what is also featured in Sonic Adventure 2, a.k.a. Shadow's first appearance? The pyramids. And what are they doing? They have to jump on a rocket that's secretly been stored inside these pyramids for God knows how long, and it launches up towards the moon or Space Colony Arc, whatever it was. And yeah, so dead certain that this is just pretty much guaranteeing that Shadow the Hedgehog is going to be in this game, which is pretty cool. I'm sorry, not this game, this movie. I'm sorry, this experience. It's not even a movie. It's an experience of a lifetime. So I think that pretty much guarantees that Shadow the Hedgehog is going to be in it. Yep, explosion. Sonic runs through that. He doesn't die somehow. Look at this. His leg's very long in this shot. That's cool. Here we go. So every hero has a Genesis. This is more pandering, an Easter egg towards Sonic's first gaming console. He debuted on the Sega Genesis. There's that. That's okay. It's a clever tagline, I guess, if you're like 5 or something. I mean, I could have wrote something better than that. Whatever. Here we go. So now we're on top of a rooftop, and there's this jet thing. It's cool. It's got a prolapsed anus, I guess. It's very red. It's irritated looking. They gotta get that checked out. Here we go. This is probably the best look of Sonic in my opinion. He's got some attitude going on right here. I don't know. It feels like Sonic. He's got attitude. I feel like with this foot down here, he's just tapping his foot away. You know, like the classic Sonic game where if you stood around too long, he'd just start tapping his foot like I'm waiting. And so I feel like that's what's kind of going on right here. So I do like this shot of the trailer. It's got attitude, and I dig that. Here we go. So we got Jim Carrey adopting the more traditional Dr. Ivo Robotnik Eggman attire. We can also see that he's missing one of the lenses up here. So I don't know. Maybe Sonic just like, I don't know. He tried to shove his fist through his brain or something and like knocked out a lens or something. I don't know. But he's got a devilish smile going on. He's probably in that jet. Yeah, and so here we go. This is something that's interesting. Let me yawn real quick. Okay, so this is interesting. He's hitting a button and the button's going off towards the left. And I think that's an allegory, again, that he is descending into madness because he's not all right in the head. So, yeah, so he's going all left because he's not all right, which I think is pretty interesting. Yeah, so let's continue on. Looks like he's piloting those little drone things that are floating around. I guess going all left makes things fire. Now, if you'll notice, Sonic's companions are actually gone now. Because they're right here, right behind him. There's a bag behind them, too, it looks like. Which I think I saw in the scene. Yeah, so there's a bag right before they fire. So, yeah, so I'm guessing they fall off. Sonic throws the ring, gets them to safety, and he runs all the way back up to the top of the roof or something. Who knows? Or maybe they just sieged them out of the shot because, you know, trailers can be misleading. It's for marketing purposes. So, let's continue. Sonic stops. He freezes time because he's Quicksilver or he's God. I'm pretty sure he's just God. Look at this lanky body. It's beautiful. I love it. It's hot. It's now. It's wow. He's talking about he took 9,000 steps. I'm sorry, 9 million steps on his Fitbit, which he is not wearing. So how would he know that he took 9 million steps? You know, so I feel like this is also more set up for a future sequel where we could potentially see Metal Sonic. Now, there's a theory that Metal Sonic is actually Sonic if he had gotten a game over in a previous game. And then Robotnik took that roboticized Sonic and just kind of used him against his will and everything. And so that's Metal Sonic. It's Sonic from a failed timeline. So maybe that Fitbit not being there, maybe he's got the Fitbit integrated inside of his wrist or something. So maybe he's already in the process of becoming roboticized and he just doesn't know it. And so maybe later on down the line, we'll see an alternate dimension version of Sonic become the protagonist as we see this, our beloved hero, fall to the dark side while an alternate version of him is something that has to take him down. I don't know. I think it's very interesting what they're doing with the cinematic world building. So let's continue on. So I'm pretty sure right here, yeah, I'm pretty sure as he's hitting these bullets, it's just a remix version of the ring sound effect, just higher pitch, faster sound, or whatever. So yeah, let's continue on. He's destroying things. So right here, looks like Sonic's gonna forcefully shove these rockets up this robot's butt, and that's oh no, he puts it in its armpits. That's a little better. And Jesus Christ! Oh my God. Okay, so wow, look at that. He's got muscles. He's got some pecs right there. Like you could see the little divot right there. Damn, this hedgehog is built to last. That's crazy. So yeah, he's moving faster than all these rockets and explosions and everything, but you know he can't get out of the way of that dart. And again, I feel like this has to do with Sonic upgrading his speed. You know, maybe at this point he's accepted that, you know, he isn't a cat that could say meow or anything like that. Oh gosh, oh jeez, I'm running off of 2 hours of sleep if I haven't mentioned that already. Yeah, so you know maybe Sonic is ignoring that stop sign finally. Maybe he's finally just deciding that he's got to go fast. You know, that he doesn't have to stop and wait for society to tell him what to be. You know that he's gonna decide here and now, and that's a buff, beefy hedge boy that can move super fast. So now that he's got nothing holding him back, he is ready to just let loose and go off. Yeah. So, whoa, here we go. Title sequence. There's some lightning again around the edges of the lettering to remind us that he is going to be replacing the Flash in the Justice League and that we're having the ultimate crossover ever. Sonic the Hedgehog. That looks to be the bag that was on the rooftop earlier, so I guess they're doing that. If I recall, she is going to be playing Tom's wife in the film. I'm pretty sure they've said that. If not, then I'm just making that up. But it seems that they're waiting for the elevator. So perhaps they stuff Sonic in the bag. They bring him up the elevator. Maybe they'll throw him off the edge of the building, and then Robotnik's like, no, I want Sonic to be my lover. So I'm going to kill you guys. And Sonic's like, but these guys are my friends. I'm not going to let them die like that. Yeah. And so he throws them through the rings or whatever and get them to safety. And then Sonic's like, I'm going to take you down, Robotnik. And then, yeah, they do their thing. Sonic's like, how much longer? Can't breathe. Da, 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 da. You know, that typical stuff. Because obviously he's in a bag. He can't breathe. And they're very suspicious, obviously. Wow, good job. You go, girl. You do it. You do it. Let's see. Yeah, they're shocked, and there goes Adam from Adam Ruins Everything. Actually, let's go back to that line real quick. Okay, so Sonic claims that it smells like body spray and an old ham sandwich inside that bag, which you know, I feel like really speaks about toxic masculinity because you know it's the whole thing of like, oh, guys who try too hard to spray themselves with Axe body spray or whatever. You know, like whatever. You know, it's all about like having a good self image of yourself. You know, and some people are just a little bit more like don't have as much self confidence as others, and so like you know it's just to boost some self confidence, Sonic. You know, don't be beating on him. I mean, I use Axe body spray, not really, but I do rub ham sandwiches on myself, so I can relate to that. And you know, the smell of a ham sandwich isn't that bad. It's just a little musky, but it's not the worst smell that there could be. Trust me, I've smelled plenty worse. And yeah, movie comes out in November. The film is not yet rated, so I'm hoping that means that it gets the NC-17 rating because I really want there to be some like several intimate, deep love scenes between Sonic, Tom, Eggman, hell, maybe even like Mac the truck from Pixar's Cars. So yeah, let's continue on. There's some jitters. It looks like he's conducting some music right here. I feel like I missed one a little earlier. Let's go back. Oh, here. Oh, wow. Okay. There we go. So interesting with the glove. This actually might be an Easter egg. I'm not horse shitting right here. That kind of looks like the controller for the original Sega Genesis right here. Like there's the directional pads and there's the input button. So who knows? Maybe that's an actual Easter egg of some sort. But anyway, back to my breakdown, my analysis of this. Looks like he's in a chamber of some sort. Maybe he's gonna roboticize something. We don't know. It looks like he's in a circular chamber tube thing, though. And here we go. We got good old classic Eggman. Finalized Eggman, Jim Carrey man. He's bald. He's got the crazy mustache. And it looks like he's in a poorly rendered version of Mushroom Hill. And I say poorly rendered because it looks like none of this is detailed. This is just a loose texture. But so, yeah, it looks like he's in Mushroom Hill, perhaps, from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I 100% dig this look. I'm absolutely on board with that. I love it. But so, yeah, it looks like his other lens is broken. Looks like he's got this one back, though. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe he has more than one pair of goggles. You got to accessorize. I mean, you can't just have one pair. So, yeah, last shot of the movie. Or, I'm sorry, last shot of the trailer. I freaking love it. And that's it. That is the Sonic the Hedgehog 2019 movie trailer. That's my breakdown of this whole thing. Oh man, I can't tell you how excited I am for this movie. It's been one of my dreams as a kid to see Sonic the Hedgehog brought to life on the big screen. And I'm so glad it's being done like this. There is not a single bone in my body that is in the least bit concerned for this movie. I am 100% excited for this. Very glad that this is the route that they're taking with it. I'm glad Sonic looks like he's a Olympic runner with a giant mascot head on top. I love it. I'm proud. I'm pumped for it. So yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog. It comes out in 174 days, 8 hours, 9 minutes, and roughly 20 seconds from whenever I finish that. But yeah, so goodness, that is everything that there is to break down in this trailer. I'm excited. We're gonna get Shadow the Hedgehog, and if he looks like a Hot Topic version of Sonic, that'd be great. I really hope it looks like one of those cringy Photoshop edits of Rapunzel that like seen junior high girls would like post on their Facebooks or something like that, where it's like, oh, she's got like the darker hair and like the nose rings or whatever, in the punk band shirt that it's like, oh, it's so obscure and I'm the only one that knows this band. Da, 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 da. But yeah, I'm excited to see what this movie has to offer. I'm really loving all the themes that they're setting up in this thing, and I really, really hope that it gets here sooner. You know, I can't hardly stand the wait. I know Sonic can't. You know, the whole "I'm waiting" line. It's Sonic. You know, I will definitely be here at this movie opening night. I will be the first show to the theater room too. Oh my god, I'm tired. 2 hours of sleep. It's fun to run off of. So yeah, that is the end of this. I am so glad you could all join me for this live stream. My first live stream ever. There's no audio or anything. That's probably for the best. I'd probably get copyright striked if I had this audio playing. Or maybe I wouldn't. I don't know. Because I mean, my actual trailer got copyright. My fake trailer got copyright strike for using the Black Eyed Peas like little thing for like 3 seconds, and then the solid minute or two of the actual trailer, or I'm sorry, the actual Gangster's Paradise music wasn't copyright striked at all. So maybe I could have gone away with it. I don't know. But the thing is that it's probably for the best that the audio wasn't in there. But hey, whatever. I walked you all through it, so I say it's okay. So yeah, that was the Sonic trailer. Thanks for joining in on my first ever live stream. It's been a fun 1 hour and 22 minutes. Oh boy, it's been exciting. And I have definitely not cringed, winced in pain for a single second of this. It's can we just go back here for one more try, like meow? Okay, that's it guys. Click